the biggest lesson which I would say was that true leadership begins where the playbook ends. So there was a playbook, but we started from where it actually ends. There was no blueprint, just a vision, a blank slate, and the drive to make it real. Now, being the first boots, as you put it, on the ground meant wearing every hat, making decisions with imperfect information, and learning to move fast without losing focus.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Priya George, and today we are diving deep into the world of brand turnarounds, award-winning marketing, and leadership that scales across industries and geographies. Joining us is someone who truly needs no grand introduction, Mr. Vishal Kumar Singh. With over 2 decades of experience spanning telecom, media, FMCG, and digital advertising, he's a name that has not only shaped campaigns but moved markets.
Thank you so much, Priya. It's a pleasure to be here and part of this conversation.
The pleasure's all ours, Vishal. You've led transformations for some of the most recognized brands in India, Idea Cellular, Big FM, PepsiCo, and each with a story, a unique strategy, some serious execution definitely behind it. And now, leading from the front at Xapads Media, you're still pushing the needle on innovation in the digital space.
Yes, it's been quite a journey of more than 24 years. The landscape has evolved dramatically, presenting both new challenges and continuous learning opportunities. From the early days of traditional media and face-to-face sales tactics to today's fast-paced, data-driven digital ecosystems, adaptability has been crucial. Now, navigating shifts in consumer behavior, the rise of social platforms, and the growing importance of personalization and analytics has demanded constant upskilling and strategic ability. Now, whether you're talking about leading cross-functional teams, launching integrated campaigns, or managing the complexities of omni-channel engagement, every phase has reinforced the importance of resilience, curiosity, and the ability to translate insights into action. Now, each challenge has not only tested expertise, but also expanded it, shaping a career defined by growth and transformation.
Right, exactly. And it's that kind of evolution is what we are here to explore today, and what it takes to build relevance, credibility, and growth in industries that are constantly shifting. So let's start from the very beginning, Vishal. How did it all begin for you? What shaped your early decisions? And how did that journey lead you to where you are today? We'd love to hear from you.
Okay. So my 24 years journey in sales, marketing, and media strategy began with a passion for communication and a fascination with consumer behavior. I was always very interested in how the consumer thinks, what is going on in the consumer's mind. Now, in the early days, I was drawn to the power of storytelling and the ability to influence decisions through meaningful connections. The principles that shaped my initial career choices were basically about consumer, where the consumer is, what the consumer is thinking, etc. Now, working in traditional sales and print media laid a solid foundation, teaching me the importance of relationship building, persistence, and understanding market dynamics. Now, as digital transformation accelerated, I embraced new technologies, data-driven strategies, navigating everything from the rise of social media to programmatic advertising and omni-channel marketing. Each phase brought its own challenges, whether it's shifting consumer expectations or rapid technology advancements or the need to constantly reskill. Otherwise, we would become dinosaurs in the marketing world. Now, both these
Correct.
challenges became stepping stones, pushing me to evolve as both a strategist and a leader. Now, today,
Right.
if I look at myself, I think that I bring a blend of deep industry experience and forward thinking adaptability, driven by the
Hmm.
same curiosity and commitment to impact that started it all.
Right. Right. So I'm just curious, Vishal, like you have been studying, customer engagement, their behavior, their needs, their wants. Do you see do you see any shift in the needs of customers, when you first started out to now? Like, what is their focus? Like, what do they want? What are they looking at?
So if you look at customers, uh, see, if you look at any product or any service, the basic expectation that it would be perfect is there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everybody is expecting the product to be right, the service to be right. Customers now want a delight. They want to be surprised in a positive way. The plethora of
Right.
choices that they have. Let me
Right.
tell you, in today's world, there is hardly any brand loyalty unless
I
you
agree.
create a relationship with the consumer where it goes way beyond just fulfilling a need. So that's
Right.
I think that's the major shift.
Hmm.
It is no longer only about the product delivering what it was supposed to deliver. It's what
Hmm.
else it does. How does it the product or service impacts their life or impacts their experiences, and that is where the shift has happened.
Right, right. Thank you. I think that's really insightful. Vishal, when we talk about impact in leadership, and numbers often speak louder than words, and the kind of turnaround you led at Mindshare is a very good example. So, taking a major account like PepsiCo from a 10% degrowth to a 20% top line growth and a double digit profitability, which is not just strategy, that's definitely transformation. So, we want to know, when you're in the middle of something which has such high stakes, what truly drives a result like that?
Priya, when you're in the middle of a high stakes turnaround like the one at Mindshare with PepsiCo, what truly
Correct.
drives result isn't just strategy. It's clarity,
Hmm.
conviction, and cohesion.
Hmm.
Now, first, you
Hmm.
need a sharp, unflinching view of the problem, understanding what's broken, what's missing, and where the real potential lies. And this is what
Correct.
I faced when I joined Mindshare to lead the PepsiCo business.
Hmm.
Uh, for us, it meant aligning cross-functional teams around a
Hmm.
common goal and
Hmm.
rebuilding trust with the client, and
Hmm.
then pivoting from reactive tactics to
Hmm.
proactive, inside-led planning. Now, in all this process, data played a huge role,
Right.
but so did instinct, knowing when to push for bold ideas and when to double down on fundamentals. But perhaps the most important driver was creating a culture of accountability and ownership. Now,
Hmm.
everyone in my team, in fact, everyone associated with that account at Mindshare, from media
Hmm.
planners to senior leadership, knew the
Hmm.
stakes, saw the vision, and was
Hmm.
empowered to deliver. Now, that's when transformation happens. When
Hmm.
strategy is matched with discipline, agility, and a team that's all in. And then
Hmm.
that's something which actually enabled us to do that transformation.
Hmm. Right. I think your response really brings out the kind of clarity and that conviction that is needed when the stakes are high. uh, and clear communication between the team members, because I think there's so much to learn from that. Vishal, not many can say that they were the first boots on the ground, built something from absolute scratch, and made it profitable in the very first year. But a testament to that is Moca Tech. That's not just business acumen, that's entrepreneurial courage. And I'm curious, when you look back at that chapter, what did that kind of leap teach you about building, leading, and trusting your instinct when there's no real playbook to follow?
When I joined Moca Technology, it was I don't know how to describe that phase, because the moment I joined Moca Technology, it's a Shanghai-based company,
Okay.
and they were looking to enter India and the Southeast Asia market. Now, a month after I joined them, COVID happened. And suddenly from offline teams, everything shifted online, which had
Correct.
its own challenges. But then looking back at my time building Moca Tech from ground up, the biggest lesson which I would say was that true leadership begins where the playbook ends. So there was a playbook, but we started from where it actually ends. There was no blueprint, just a vision,
Correct.
a blank slate, and the drive to make it real. Now, being the first boots, as you put it, on the ground meant wearing every hat, making
Correct.
decisions with imperfect information, and learning to move fast without losing focus. We were also in uncharted territories of COVID, suddenly explosion in digital. Everybody wanted to be have serviced online. Brands wanted to service consumers online. Everything, the entire, I think, ecosystem had changed around that. Now, it taught me the power of clarity, knowing exactly what problem you're solving and for whom. And that's the pivot we took over there. It also, Priya, reinforced that trust in your instinct, your team, and your process. Now, this is everything. Every win came from calculated risks, relentless execution, and the belief that momentum is built one decision at a time. And that is how we went from one day to another, 1 week to another, one client to another, one campaign to another. The chapter wasn't just about profitability in year one. It was about building something with purpose, resilience, and the kind of entrepreneur grit that shapes how I would say I lead to this day. So that's how I would look at not only me. We had a very good team in place. I was fortunate enough to be the first employee over there who could select the right people, train the right people, focus on the product, uh, try different strategies. We were encouraged to make mistakes. The only thing was that we needed to be probably more innovative in making mistakes so that we are not repeating the same mistakes. And that is where we kind of rewrote the playbook.
Right. I think it's a quotable quote for sure, like leadership begins where playbooks end. I think, and thinking on your toes. And then, so thank you. I think that's a really inspiring moment that you shared with us. Vishal, today we are surrounded by so much content that sometimes it all starts to feel the same and lines are blurred. Somehow your campaigns have always managed to break through that noise and not just connect with audience, but actually win awards while doing it. So we are genuinely curious when you sit down to build something from scratch, when it's just at a conception stage and a blank canvas in front of you. What does your creative process really look like?
Okay, so I won't pretend that I have a very different process. I think it's the same with every marketer. So when any other marketer or when it's me, when I sit down to build something from scratch, it always starts with one question. What truth are we speaking to? In a world, like you said, oversaturated with content, the only ideas that break through are the ones rooted in something real. an insight about the audience, a cultural tension, a brand truth that hasn't been fully explored. Now, these are few of the nuances you pick up. Now, from there, the process is about distillation and focus. Now, we generally, my team, whether it's me or any other marketer, would strip the brief down to its core, identify the emotional hook, and then build upon. And that is where a lot of agencies also play a role. We have a lot of, all marketers have a lot of partners who help in then building upward from there, whether it's layering strategy with storytelling and creativity with precision. For any marketer, Priya, collaboration is key. The best ideas rarely come from a silo. So I would lean on diverse voices to challenge assumption and sharpen the work. And finally, and that's what the marketer's role is. Marketer is not a expert on everything. It's not that the best idea would come from the marketing head. It can come from anyone in the team. But yeah, that is where the person who's kind of driving it has to challenge the assumptions and sharpen the work. And finally, I at least always ask, would I stop and pay attention to this? Would I care? If the answer is no, we go back to the drawing board. Great campaigns, Priya, don't just make noise, they make people feel something. And that's the goal every time. And that's what I have always strived to achieve in my campaigns.
Right, right. Which actually makes me think about, the ads, the marketing campaigns I watched when I was a child. They have still stayed with me through the years because I think somewhere they touched upon the sentimentality and emotion. So that's why they are still fresh in my memory. Thank you for that response, Vishal. Now, looking at the arc of your journey, you've steered massive campaigns, you've built businesses from ground up, and it's clear that all your career choices reflect someone who's always thinking a few steps ahead. And I imagine with all that kind of experience, the future isn't just about the next campaign or quarter, it's also about shaping bigger conversations. So, we want to know what's next on the horizon for you, either on the personal or professional front.
You're absolutely right. After slightly more than 24 years of steering large-scale campaigns, building from the ground up, doing innovations across different categories, my focus has now naturally shifted towards impact at a more strategic and enterprise level. Now, what excites me now is the opportunity to influence not just marketing outcomes, but business outcomes. To basically help shape the kind of brand and growth strategy that lives at the intersection of creativity, technology, and long-term value. Priya, I'm increasingly drawn to roles where I can contribute in the boardroom, guiding organizations through transformation, whether that's navigating disruption, scaling innovation, or future proofing go to market models. Now, what's next isn't just about leading the next campaign, obviously. It's more about now, for me, helping businesses reimagining what's possible, aligning purpose with performance, and mentoring the next generation of thinkers and doers. These are the people who will carry that vision forward. The horizon is wide, and that's exactly what makes it exciting for people like me, who've spent a decent amount of time in the industry and want to do something more than what they've been doing till now.
Correct. I think today people care deeply about what a brand stands for. But you've also mentioned that there is no such thing as brand loyalty in the current, scenario. How a brand behaves, whether it walks the talks in a time when transparency is front and center, brand governance isn't just a back-end compliance box. It's part of the story we tell. And with the kind of influence you've had in shaping brand narratives, we are curious, how do you personally bring that lens of ethics and responsibility into the marketing decisions you make every day?
Now, that's such an important question because today, brand storytelling doesn't just live in campaigns, it lives in actions also. For me, ethics and responsibility aren't side considerations, they're embedded into every decision from the start. When we are shaping narratives, I generally ask, is this honest? Is this inclusive? Are we representing people with respect and accuracy? It's about more than avoiding missteps. It's about actively choosing to do what's right, even when it's not the easiest or most commercially obvious route. Now, what
Correct.
I've found is that the most enduring brand values come from consistency between a brand, what a brand says, and what it actually does, whether that's in sustainability, diversity, or data privacy. Internally, generally, I would push for cross-functional alignment early on, in whether it's the legal team, the comms team, the product team, or the marketing team. So we are not just building a good story, but building it on a foundation of integrity also. Now, in an age of scrutiny, I believe trust is the most valuable currency that any brand has. That's the most important brand currency.
Correct.
And that means earning it. And that means earning it every day, day on day. And that is what a brand needs to do continuously.
Right, right. Vishal, as we near the end of the interview, and as someone who's already led large scale transformations and built brands, your decision to join Directors Institute speaks volumes. So we'd love to hear, how has your experience been so far, and how has Directors Institute added value to your professional journey?
It's been a good journey, but it's been a good decision, Priya. Joining the Directors Institute has been an incredibly rewarding and thought-provoking experience for me. Now, after years of driving brand growth and business transformation from within, stepping into a space that focuses on governance, strategic oversight, and boardroom dynamics has added a whole new layer to how I think about leadership. It's expanded my perspective from focusing on operational excellence and campaign impact to understanding how long-term value is created. Not only created, but also how it is protected and scaled at the highest level. Director Institute's emphasis on ethical governance, risk management, and stakeholder alignment kind of aligns deeply with the values I've always brought into my work. So it's not just a new chapter for me, it's a powerful extension of the journey I've been on. And I'm really excited about where it will lead next.
I think it's really inspiring. It clearly goes to show that continuous learning should never stop, and there is nothing that should deter a person, ideally, to continue their journey of growth and learning and unlearning as well. And if someone like you, who comes with all this experience, can still find, the ways and the means to invest in their learning, I think it's inspiring for our audience members as well. So I really appreciate you sharing those words with us. Vishal, this has been such an insightful and genuinely enriching conversation. Hearing about your journey, your creative leadership, your vision, your humility, your foresight, and the way you approach strategy and governance, I'm sure our audience have taken away a lot to value about and think about. So, thank you so much for sharing your story with such honesty and depth. Thank you once again for answering our questions and joining us on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you for having me on this podcast. It has really been a pleasure to reflect on the journey and exchange thoughts in such a meaningful way. So, thanks a lot once again.
The pleasure is all ours. And to our audience members, thank you for tuning in to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and remember, leadership is not just about positions, it's about purpose. We'll see you in the next episode. This is your host, Priya George, signing off. Take care.